why I believe that men are weaker than they've ever been, and why I believe that women have to be stronger than they've ever been. This episode of the Toddcast is a super powerful message on my beliefs, what I coach, what I see daily, and the world that we live in. Please remember that this is a supportive movement. My Love Your Mind brand, it doesn't discriminate against men or women. Mental ill health does not discriminate. So it's very important that we learn about each other. We understand that men and women both need each other. This world doesn't function without either one. And the more we can support each other, the better our world will be. So I'm going to start off with the men and talk really openly as to why I believe men are as weak as they've ever been mentally. If you have a look at the world that we live in, men are more overweight than ever. If we just start there, for example, that says to me that there is more men than not that don't have the strength to get out of bed and go and exercise. Something basic, but it seems to be something most men can't do. And I believe that it starts there. So if you can't apply any type of discipline to your body, how are you going to feel good? And when you don't feel good, guess what happens? Your self-worth goes down. Everything snowballs off that, but that's just the start. When you can't apply discipline to your body, guess what else you can't apply discipline to? Your diet, your temptations, your validations, your relationship with alcohol and drugs, turning up on time on work or chasing your purpose, chasing your dreams, saving money, putting money towards your future. So you don't have discipline to any of that because you haven't applied any discipline to your body. And so what comes with that is the likelihood that weakness is comfortable and it's safe. And most men don't want to do what's hard. They would rather feel safe, feel comfortable, but unfortunately, that creates weakness. And when you become weak, you are more likely to gravitate towards weak choices. As a man, once you start looking at yourself in the mirror and seeing this deterioration of what you used to be when you were younger, athletic, fit, single, whatever it is so easy to get so caught up in where to start that it's so much safer to not start and just give up. Just go, oh, fuck it. This is my dad bod. I'm getting older. That's it. And so the likelihood of you getting started is very, very low because you've never really done anything hard to improve anything in your life. Everything you continue to do is safe and comfortable and it's weak. And unfortunately, inside your friendship group and the dynamic of the world, there are more outlets and more support for that to be okay. Because no one really wants to support what's really, really hard. No one really gives you validation and encourages you to keep going on what's really hard because it's not normal. Because most people aren't doing it. So I think for men, us men, and something that women don't understand, and I really do believe that if women understood this more about men, there would be more support. But where does a man go when he feels that way? He doesn't want to go and tell his partner. He doesn't want to tell his mates. He doesn't want to talk about it in general because he's so embarrassed. He feels like a failure. He feels like a loser. He feels weak. He feels like a wimp, like it's not manly. And the last thing that a man wants to do is burden his female in his life, his partner, his wife, whatever, with those extra responsibilities because he doesn't want to be seen as that lower grade of a man. So he says nothing. And unfortunately, we all know what happens when you say nothing. Two things happen. men become statistics and they take their lives, or the next man comes along and replaces that man that they wanted to be because they didn't do anything about it when they had the chance, and they become victims for the rest of their life because they never took accountability, nor did they take responsibility, but mainly they never took action when they had the chance. And so my key messages in everything that I do, my programs online, my coaching, my Instagram, my TikTok, my Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, whatever, my main message, when all the motivation in the world is done, when all the inspiration in the world wears off, every single day, we have a choice to get out of bed. And it's the hardest thing you can do at that starting point of your life. It really is. To make that decision every day when you're so far behind where you want to be just to get started. But you have to do it, guys. You have to do it. Because the consequences to not doing it are exactly what I talked about. And if you don't change those patterns, nothing's going to change. So I do believe, men, that we have become weaker in society in general because of those reasons. We don't show discipline to anything that's hard. We want to feel safe and comfortable. Our friendship groups want the same. So for us to fit in, we have to do the same thing as everyone else. So essentially, we're all the clowns at the fucking circus. But at some point, that circus moves on. And what are you going to do? Are you going to be left as a clown when the circus moves out of town? Or are you going to make a decision now that you want to fight for what you truly want? Because you don't want to cry in the future for what you truly lost because you didn't do anything about it. So I hope that makes sense, men. I hope to you women that you understand that there is more going on inside a man's head every single day than you can possibly imagine. And if you can be that support and you can ask those questions without your man feeling he's losing his masculinity and he feels like he's safe to talk, you guys are going to have one hell of a relationship if you can get through that together. Now on to the women. And this is why I believe that women now have become so strong and have had to become so strong in the world that we live in. Divorce is higher than it's ever been. There's so many people, if they're still together, that are unhappily married. So many men are under so much pressure from what I just spoke about that they have lost their value as men. Women have now had to step up and take the masculinity role on, as well as, unfortunately, lose bits of their feminine, which, let's be honest, no woman wants to have to be masculine. Okay, that's not what we were born to do. Men were born to be men, and women were born to be women. I often talk about going back to the caveman days, very basic. The men, they hunted, the men hunted and they provided. Women nurtured and cared, and it just worked. Along the way, all that stuff started to change. And for whatever reason, mental ill health now is such a huge excuse to feel weak, when really the only way to beat feeling low, the mental ill health, the depression, the anxiety, is through action, which no man wants to take anymore. And it's so easy to make excuses and blame and do nothing, and then say you've got mental health, say you're depressed, say you're anxious. Women want a man. They want that masculine to come in and lead them and guide them. But it's not happening. So women have had to escalate and elevate into that role. And with there being more divorce than ever, there's not as much presence around with men. Men are less present now than ever before, so they're left raising their kids as well. And the little time that the men do have with their kids is spent dwelling, regretting, and beating themselves up at what they lost. but they're still not doing anything about it to get it back. And so women, even in the dating world, and you've got to understand, I coach men and women. All I hear from the girls is I just want to meet a real man that wants to come into my world and can take the masculinity away from me so I can be a female, and together we can be a power couple and go and attack life and support each other together. That's what women truly want. Unfortunately for men want sex. That's all men see. And so if that's not good enough and it's not serving them at the time, instead of fighting for it and working hard for it and listening to women, actually hearing what they've got to say, you push them away. So fuck that. You're the one with the problem. I'm going to go and seek temptation elsewhere, because there's so many outlets now to go and find validation, but it's very short dopamine, boys. The girls can also do that. And when they do that, they are finding all these weak men on those sites, and they're just meeting the same cycle over and over. It's a fucking shit fight. So my message there, guys, my message overall is, men, have a look inside, internally, before you start fixing the externally, and take some responsibility, take some ownership and accountability for where you are in your life, and have a look at yourself and go, I'm not where I want to be, but I want to make a start. And go and express that to your partner, to your friends, whatever it takes. You might just find you get some support, and you might just have people join you as well. If not, you're going to have to do this by yourself. But boys, until you work on yourself internally and start applying discipline to the harder things in your life, you're never going to get on top of the mental ill health that's shackling you inside. And the consequences to that is you're never going to be able to have a female in your life that you feel masculine or good enough for. So that's always going to be sabotage. My message there to females: have more communication with your man or with males rather than with your females, and don't let that escalated snowball into toxic behavior towards us men. Go and have open conversations with us boys. Explain to us that what's happening isn't working. Show some support and say, I'm here with you. I get it. We've made a commitment. Let's go through this. You might just find, girls, that you are supporting someone that is crying out internally to be heard, and vice versa. Boys, one big tip for you guys: stop focusing just on yourself and understand there's a reason why females go through less mental health than us men. And it's because they communicate and they talk amongst their friendship group. Men don't do that. So women, whatever you want to say, they yap, they talk each other's ears off, whatever. That's actually helping them get shit out and gain support. Whereas men, we don't do that. So if you want to be included in that type of dynamic, have a listen to your partner, have a listen to the female in your life, and understand what they're trying to say to you. Because I promise you this, girls are giving you gold nuggets inside any relationship along the way. No girl enters a marriage or a partnership and says, this is the guy that I want to break up with one day. They don't do that. They give us multiple opportunities throughout that relationship to get it right. We don't listen, that's the problem. And then when they leave, because they do check out emotionally way before us guys, like I said, women's emotions are different. Men's physicality, they want sex, they want to be desired. We don't get desired when we're fucking letting our females live in the masculinity, I'm telling you. They turn off us really quickly. Once they emotionally check out, they're gone. Whereas us boys, we throw our fucking toys out the cot. Oh, that's okay, well, you can be replaced. I'll just get on fucking Tinder, or I'll get on fucking whatever, and I'll just replace you and I'll find someone else, knowing full well that's not what you want. Then when it happens, you're like, holy fuck, I'm depressed, I'm heartbroken. How did she do this to me? I can't believe she did this. Well, you were told, you just never fucking listened. So they're my tips, guys. Men, start working on yourselves internally, start being better human beings, and try and gain that masculinity back through hard choices, and hard work will serve you better. Women, try and open communication, not just with your girlfriends, but with your man or the male in your life. Try and understand that they are carrying a lot of shit. Okay, financially we have to shove. There's a lot going on in a man's life. And understand that us men aren't very good at opening up in social groups. So if you can be that support, you might just be able to turn that relationship or whatever around, and you guys can support each other. As always, I love you guys. If you haven't shared this YouTube channel, or if you think it should be beneficial to someone to hear, please do that. And I'll be back soon with another episode of the Toddcast. Love you guys.